XRP's price has surged by over 5% in just a few hours. I put out some technical analysis earlier today with some expectations, and well, things have changed quite a bit in just a short period of time. I'm going to give you this update on the small and medium timeframes, sharing my thoughts and opinions on where I think that price action is heading. And if I have time, I'll also zoom out and take a look at the bigger macro picture as to where XRP could be heading on a bigger macro scale. As I get into today's video, smash that like button if you're new, subscribe, and let's jump right down into the charts. We're going to kick things off on the 1 hour time frame, where we can see a very significant surge to the upside. Here we have a fantastic 5% run. It's actually a 5.19%, and we can see that this area, which is the price expectations from 2 days ago, this was the 58.38 to 59.33. This is what we're talking about, that we're looking for a push to the upside over the weekend, and we actually tapped into this on Sunday at the 1200 UTC hour candle, and we did have a high here of 58.45. I thought that was potentially done considering the size of its wick, but today the market has decided to give us a bit of a surge to the upside. Now, my expectations this morning was a small move to the downside before we bounced higher. This move was supposed to be 55.64 to 55.91. That's no longer valid, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that off. Now, this particular move to the upside is very interesting because it actually consists of a 5-wave move. If I come over to the 15-minute chart, you can see right inside here we have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, very much an impulsive change of direction. Okay, so if I bring this now to a 1 hour time frame, we know that there's a 5-wave structure here. Taking a look at everything that's going on within our structures, this looks to me like a reset of another big move to the upside, which means we are still looking for a breakout to the upside on this 1 hour time frame that's going to be significantly higher. We are targeting out 59.6 to 60.45. This is going to be our new target range, but it's going to take a while to get there. Maybe I'm going to say 5 or so days, something to that effect, but this is where I'm looking for things to go. Now, why do I think this? Well, we have the 5-wave structure to the upside here, and if we're going to be targeting out this range, then we're going to have to be looking for a retracement in that range of around 786 to the 50% level. We're already in this range, by the way, guys, but this is where I'm looking for us to find value. Okay, so this is where we're looking at the minute, and this is potentially going to be lining us up with the next big move. This should be a 3-wave correction, so we'll look for a bounce, we'll pull back down, and we're going to find support right in here at this lower range. We might come down a little bit deeper. It wouldn't be irregular if we do, and there's good support to be found all in this little area. I'm going to go ahead and draw in a little line right here, coming in at 57.03 to 57.23. This is going to be the area of interest, where if we do retrace here, we could potentially retest our trend line to the upside, where we might actually find a good bounce to take us up to the next levels. Now, we're looking for that next run, 59 to 60 cents, essentially, and it should be a 5-wave move. So 3 waves down and a follow up with a 5-wave break to the upside, like so. This is going to set the stage of a bigger run. Okay, so although we were kind of, right about our kind of targeted range here from a couple days ago, we were wrong about that small move to the downside before we launched, but everything is lining up quite nicely for XRP. So this chart is looking quite healthy. We are looking for this to be a very much a different structure by the time it actually plays out, because we're now looking at this through the lens that we have completed a W wave, come down into an X wave, and we're going to be looking for that Y wave up higher. This means that ultimately we're in a very much a different structure overall, and I want to do some due diligence here to check how high some of this stuff could potentially go before we see the next kind of set of corrections. And in here, yeah, we're kind of falling right in line between 58.9 and 59.85. So yeah, we're right kind of in line with the expectations of that structure, and so that's kind of what we're looking for now. Okay, so we're right on track with everything that's going on. Looking for the retracement, essentially, as long as we stay above, I'd be pretty confident, as long as we can stay above the 200 EMA, which is currently 56.9, XRP is looking good for a breakout to the upside. Now, that's on the smaller time frame. Take this up into the daily. The daily is, of course, still tracking that idea of a much bigger play, and it is tracking out 75 to 85 cents. This has not changed. This breakout to the upside is a part of a bigger journey. Once we can complete this upper area, which we'll just talk talking about, 59 to 60 cents, you can see this will be testing our downward trend line. From here, my expectations are to come down to 51 cents. Okay, this 51 cent area I think is where we're going to bounce from, and it's where we're going to be then looking for 75 to 85 cents. There's going to be a journey. This is not going to be a quick, easy kind of in and out of the market kind of job. This is something that's going to take weeks and weeks and weeks to play out on a bigger, grander scale. But everything is kind of playing its part. It's kind of doing everything that we were kind of expecting it to, with the exception of some of that short-term volatility on the hourly chart. The daily chart, on the other hand, is playing out beautifully. We were looking for this move to the upside, and we're now looking, once that kind of completes out, test that downward trend line, we're going to be looking for 51 cents. A little bit deeper, probably just a wick lower than that 200-day EMA. Hopefully we don't have to retest this lower trend line. That could be a bit problematic for the XRP holders. Losing 50 cents could be pretty damning. So we don't want to necessarily do that. But this particular pattern that we see here is a bullish one. This is a pretty good pattern to have. So I'm not concerned about it. We are looking for 75 to 85 cent breakout, and if we can rally higher towards 104, then we're an impulsive break to the upside, and that changes the landscape for XRP on a much bigger scale. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and actually take this up into a bigger macro plan for XRP. Here we have XRP on the weekly time frame paired up with the US dollar on the Bitstamp data. Now this gives us a much bigger play. This shows us everything that is going on or historically has gone on, and where XRP's price could be heading in the future. And this is looking like a big, massive breakout for XRP. So everything is kind of lining up quite nicely here, but my expectations are more consolidation through 2024 into the latter parts, and as soon as we kind of go into 2025, I'm expecting a huge lift to the upside. Minimum expectations on this are $5 to $9, but I would be surprised if we can't get up towards the $15 or even $28 ranges, given everything that's going on with the SEC and potential for XRPs once it has clarity. There's obviously, of course, the moonshot at around $130, but that's kind of a real big target that's, potentially doesn't play out. But for me, looking at this, or anywhere kind of really about these kind of Fibonacci levels, particularly the 0.618, the 702, the 786, basically 875, 1586, and 2872 are key areas that I think the price action is going to resonate with. So we have a pretty interesting structure. I do think XRP is very well positioned to do very well. It's a little bit unfortunate that we didn't quite get the opportunity to go long. Like I was talking about earlier today, we were looking for just a little bit more of a downward price pressure before we got into this lift, but we've started to break out now. The pump that I was talking about loading is finally here, and it looks like it's performing very well so far. Guys, you let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below. What's your kind of short, medium, and long-term expectations for XRP? Are you looking for $130? Are you going to be happy if XRP can get to $5? Let me know where you sit on that side of the argument. And if you haven't done so yet, join us in our free Discord server. We can continue the conversations down there. And if you haven't done so, check out my second channel for technical analysis on Cardano. I don't think you'll regret it.